You are greater than machine.
Congratulations, you decided to get into recording audio for any multitude of reasons, but like everyone else, you don't actually know how to use a damn thing. That's no problem, because I'm here to quickly tell you some basic things that will make your audio sound nice, and not like you're inside a bomb shelter currently being hit with a bunker buster. In a way, even little Jimmy will understand. First things first, don't worry about having a quote-unquote good microphone. Unless you're using T-Pain's Auto-Tune mic or the primo quality original Xbox Live microphone from 2004, just about anything you can call a microphone will sound good if you set it up properly. That said, investing in a good professional microphone and audio setup does help, but you don't need it. With that said, let's get this out of the way. The modern version of Microsoft Windows is a progressively crumbling mess that likes to default to the absolute worst settings for audio. So much so, it led me personally to switching to Linux Mint. This isn't telling you to use Linux, though if you do use Linux, the following will be partly irrelevant to you. For everyone else suffering sunken cost fallacy on the sinking ship we call Bimbos 11, here's what you need to do. 1. Open Windows Sound Settings and locate your audio input settings. 2. Set your audio device of choice to your default input device. 3. Go into Advanced Audio Settings and disable everything. Yes, everything. 4. Set your audio sample rate and the bit rate to the highest available option. If your device has any drivers unique to it, make sure you install those and double check that everything we've just listed is done. 6. Discover your audio is crackling anyways because your RAM speed isn't set properly in your computer's BIOS. Audio processing on PC is heavily dependent on CPU and RAM speed, and while every computer made since 2007 can do real-time audio, if your computer's BIOS is running the RAM at a slower frequency than it's supposed to, you can kiss crackle-free audio goodbye. If you suspect that this is the case, crack open your PC and look at the RAM installed to it and find a frequency listed on it. Typically these days it will show between 3200 MHz and 4500 MHz. Open your computer's BIOS with the RAM installed properly and make sure the RAM timing listed matches what the RAM sticks have printed on them. If not, correct it. Now, if any problems arise from crappy audio processing, you can assure it's not your hardware's fault, but in fact probably Windows being stupid. Now that everything is hooked up and you're 90% sure all your devices have what they need to work properly on your computer, we come to audio levels. Contrary to popular opinion, you do not need your audio louder than the sun. The topic of recording volume is such a controversial discussion, it's bred a term we don't have time to discuss called the loudness wars. We don't care about that, we just want good sounding noises. Everything we're about to list is not going to involve any additional audio effects. This is the raw audio baseline before we do anything else, so here's a step-by-step. First, you need to know the difference between gain and volume. In simple terms, volume is how loud your overall signal is, gain is how sensitive your microphone will be at picking up sound. Too much volume and you'll destroy your speakers. Too much gain, and the noises you aren't even aware of will be equally as audible as a bomb going off. The loudest possible signal a digital device can spit out without distortion is 0 decibels, with the quietest audible signal at negative 60 decibels. Why is recording audio negative when decibels are a positive unit of sound? Shut up. If you have a microphone with its own physical volume control, separate from Windows control panel, you'll want Windows volume set to 100% with no added gain, and instead, setting your input volume with the microphone itself. Basically, we don't want Windows directly controlling anything to do with audio because it is genuinely awful. Third, pull the microphone away from your mouth. The closer it is, the more you'll hear the inside of your throat, not your voice. A good distance is at least between your thumb and pinky, assuming you have those. Just as an example here, I currently have my own microphone arm's length away from me. This is me one hand width away from my microphone. This is me right up against the microphone. Fourth, in whatever recording software you're working with, you'll want your regular speaking voice to reach around negative 9 decibels to negative 6 decibels on the meter when the volume is at 100%, and if possible, having whatever background noise is present resting somewhere at negative 45 decibels or lower. Why? Shut up. Fifth, close your damn windows and doors. We can hear your neighbors and they're calling you smelly. Sixth, you do not need to be facing directly at the microphone, just like you don't need your mouth directly in someone's ear. Some people like that, but not everyone listens to 16 inches of Venom's tongue ASMR. A good position for the mic, if it's particularly close, is off to the side, parallel to your cheek or chin. If using a mounted microphone and not a headset, try having it at arm's length away. Congratulations, your audio is now probably usable. The only two audio effects you need to care about if you're not recording music are compression and noise suppression. Audio compression in the form of a compressor just keeps audio within a certain range, decreasing the difference between the quietest and loudest sounds. If you're using a compressor for voice, set the ratio to 2:1 or 4:1 depending on the preference, and the threshold to negative 25 decibels, and slap plus 6 decibels of output gain to make up for lost volume. Slap on a limiter, a very aggressive compressor, with its threshold set to negative 1 decibel or negative 3 decibels so the audio doesn't clip. Why? Shut up. Noise suppression and noise gates sound terrible in most circumstances, and if you follow this video to a T so far, you probably don't need them unless your background noise is particularly egregious. If you intend to record music, don't even think about using it until the audio has already been recorded. The best way to eliminate noise is for the noise to not exist in the first place, whether that be isolating yourself in a quiet location or being yourself loud enough that the noise isn't noticeable. Even with good soundproofing and treatment of your room, improperly set audio settings and levels will make any room sound like a car exploding when you fart. That said, if you are going to use noise suppression, you preferably want it to occur before using an audio compressor, so you don't boost the sound of the noise and your Taco Bell bowels. If you use OBS, just use the default RN noise setting in the built-in noise suppressor plugin. For anything else, you're basically on your own. If you're using professional audio equipment, in effect an XLR microphone going into a digital audio converter, DAC for short, basically everything listed before this remains the same. The only major difference will be if you're using a condenser microphone, making sure you have 48 volt power enabled on the DAC, sometimes called phantom power, and making sure Windows plays nice with ASIO, which it probably won't, but that's its own problem. As stated before, make sure your sample rate and bit rate for your audio device is set to as high as it will go. But with ASIO specifically, whatever drivers you're using for it, make sure the buffer size is set appropriately. Typically between 64 and 512 buffers, but generally anything that gets the latency below 100 milliseconds without the audio getting crusty. If you're using a program like Voicemeeter, do not touch the buffer settings unless you know exactly what you're doing. The reason we want Windows to have your device set to its highest sample rate is so your DAC isn't wasting buffers resampling a lower sample rate to its native sample rate. Overall audio quality is subjective, and there are situations where you may even want to intentionally have low quality audio, in which case this video has already told you how to do that. Just do the opposite of everything I just said and test the results at your own risk. All that aside, once you got your settings dialed in to where you like them, write them down on paper. Seriously, a random update can and will erase whatever settings you have saved, assuming they are saved. Enjoy now a clip of what's possible when you intentionally do everything wrong. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, be gay, do crimes. No, I will not be talking about lofts, refer to the comment, get bent. Here's a link to where you can give me money. Bye! Oh, we have 100% the game. Oh god.